Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the Subaru. I know I definitely told you guys that the rear diff caught on fire, so at some point we're going to have to handle that. But before I pull the rear diff on this car, I would like to get started on pulling the engine. So this car, as far as I know, the engine's still fine. However, there is a weird noise coming from under the timing cover. Not really sure what it could be. It doesn't really sound like anything internal. It is really kind of scary though. Well, instead of driving it and taking my chances with it, I'm gonna go ahead and get the engine ready to pull, and then we're gonna pull the timing cover and hopefully everything's fine under there and it'll be an easy fix. Now you might be asking, why would you want to pull the engine just to, do that? Why don't you just pull the radiator and then check the timing? Well, the fact that there's multiple leaks, a noise coming from under the timing cover, and it really just needs a good clean, and I've always wanted to paint it anyway. I figured we'd go ahead and take care of all of it at once. So, as you can see, I've already started. I started on it last night. Started hanging some garage flags, and my ADHD, I just had the hood open here, and I was like, let me just start taking the air box out. I mean, it's pretty easy. So I started with this piece here, the little air scoop, and then, I just kept going from there. Next thing I know, I'm pulling the intercooler, getting ready to take the battery out. Super excited to do this project. A little nervous, but I think we'll be just fine. Okay, I'm gonna quit yapping because it is getting a little late, and I'm gonna get started on this car. And this is exactly why we're pulling this engine to fix all the leaks. That is a huge puddle of oil. God. Okay, well that's draining. Let me go ahead and open this cap. There we go. Now I'm really making a mess. Oh my God. Abigail's gonna kill me. So, I went and got some lunch, pulled pork barbecue sandwich, and some strawberry kiwi Gator Light. There we go. I might start trying to pull the bolts on the downpipe. These are really rusted, and this is actually new hardware that we put on there because all of the other hardware broke off the first time we took it off. So yeah. Okay, so I've been putting it off for far too long. We moved in, I started working on this, didn't have the hoist, so I kind of just stopped, and I started doing some other stuff with this car and with the G. The G is actually at a pretty good point right now. I'm actually pretty happy with it. There's a couple things I need here and there, but I mean, hey, the G's pretty set up for what I want it for, so. However, I've been really missing this car, and I really need to lock in and actually work on it. I don't know what's wrong with me. We have Charles's engine hoist here, and he went ahead and let me borrow this engine stand as well. So, that being said, we now no longer have an excuse to stop working on this car. So let's lock in and get it where it needs to be. I think I want to go ahead, and now that I have the clearance to do so, I think I want to actually take off this timing cover. Before we moved in, it was kind of making the noise. It wasn't really driving any different, but it was a pretty nerve-wracking sound. Oh yeah, there's our problem. Okay, thank God this engine didn't lock up, because Jesus, the problem's definitely gonna be under here. I think that tensioner went. It's a brand new tensioner too. Coolant expansion tank. Well, it's out. Still got a little bit in it. And just like that, The alternator is out. Alternators on Subarus are insanely easy. It's so awesome. Okay, I currently have every sensor except for the 4 body harness plugs. I have everything else disconnected. The turbo, at least the boot for it, that's disconnected. So at this point, I have pretty much everything out. Everything on this side that's gonna interfere is off. Everything back here, the PCV, all that is off. The only problem I'm running into now are these 2 body harness plugs. For some reason, I can't get those unplugged. I got them unplugged on that side. They were easy. Just like that, we have the intake manifold off the car. So I guess now I got to jack the car up and start taking off the downpipe and the trans bolts. I'm on the last bolt on the downpipe, and then I guess I have to unbolt it back there and possibly unplug the O2. Then we should be able to start taking the turbo out from the top side. But I think while I'm down here, I'm gonna hit that starter bolt as well. And just like that, we got the downpipe out. I actually went ahead and took the entire exhaust out. I don't really know why. I already unbolted the up pipe and all the lines for the turbo. So here we go. Turbo out. And I'm thinking that I want to keep this TD04 out of the car because I have another TD04 over there. And I think that one's in better condition than this one. I'm going to inspect both of them and see which one's better, but I'm almost positive that that one's going to end up being better than this one. So officially, I'm pretty sure I have everything undone except for the engine mounts. I got the bell housing bolts out, I got the starter out, and I have a leveler to put on the hoist. So we should be able to rig this thing up and pull it out today. That is my main goal for the day, get this engine out finally. And then I can upload a video. I haven't uploaded a video in way too long. I'm literally just gonna have to cut this bolt out with a grinder. I've tried everything. I've tried an extractor socket. I got the other one out already. Boom, Harbor Freight grinder. Pretty sure the grinder will be fine for what I need it for. The impact, most of the time I have to like break what I'm working on with a pry bar or a breaker bar, and then I have to use the impact. But I mean, it's better than not having an impact, I guess. I heard that the cordless ratchets they have are actually pretty decent, so I might get one of those. I would suggest not cheaping out on an impact though. At least the one I got. I think I got like the cheapest one. However, I think this grinder will do exactly what I need it to do. So yeah. Well, fellas, I tried to just cut through here and get the, I was hoping that it would just break the nut off, but I ended up cutting a little bit more into the side here, and then I took a chisel, put it in there, and just started beating it, and the nut eventually started turning, and now it's sliding off. You can see where it was sitting at before, and yeah, looks like this is the last bolt to pull the engine. And we're finally getting this thing out. Okay, slight problem. I knew this would happen. So really the car is too low for the engine hoist. So I guess I'm gonna have to figure that out.
Can't separate it from the trans. I'm just moving the whole transmission.
got here, I knew I was gonna have to replace the diff, but apparently I'm going full send with this project. I really don't have EJ money to be building an EJ, so we're gonna hope that we can just reseal this engine and go from there. But obviously we're doing this to not only reseal the engine, but to clean up the engine bay. I've always hated how dirty and grimy it is, and I really want something more unique. So, and looking at it now, it is completely just caked. It is so nasty in here. So really excited to get this clean. Next thing you guys see on this car will probably be me tearing down the engine. I don't know how long it's gonna be before I put it back together, because I mean, we have holidays coming up. I now have a mortgage, but we also have the G, and I think the running car that I take on track is probably gonna take priority over the stance show car. I don't know. This car is more so just for fun, and that car is like also for fun, but like I'm actually kind of actively driving it. So, well, I guess I really don't have much more to say. Yeah, Project Luna V2, because this is obviously Luna, the car. Yes, I name all my cars, by the way. You know, all the stuff we did prior, I guess that would be V1. So, yeah, V2 is gonna be sick. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know, if I ever finish it. I am actually super excited to tear down this engine. And, you know, I'm not expecting it to be a perfect engine. So, if I get to tearing it down and things don't really go as planned, and, you know, it'd be smarter to not use it, I'm just gonna have to accept that. But it would be sweet if I didn't have to buy a new block. But I'm not gonna put all this time and money and effort into it if it would make more sense to just put a new block in there. So if you think you know what color I'm gonna be painting the engine bay, let me know in the comments down below. And if you got this far and you actually saw me ask that question, I appreciate you. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, it's been real. I really hope I can get this car back together at some point in time so I can drive it again. It's literally in pieces all over my garage. Looks kind of cool though.